Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to automate PDF data entry using Python. So this is actually related to a project that I just finished, and I charged the client around $1,200 to $1,500 to automate the data entry task. So basically, my client had a list of spreadsheets, and each spreadsheet has a list of contents that I need to populate into a PDF form. Now imagine that I need to do this one by one manually, then it's going to take hours or even days. Anyway, I'll be using this Python library called PyMuPDF. And in my opinion, this is probably the most powerful PDF Python package that I've used so far. But the major drawback with using PyMuPDF is that the license is based on AGPL license. And what that means is if you build a software and if you distribute the software, you need to make sure that your source code is also available to anyone who is going to be using your software, unless you purchase a commercial license with the provider. But for internal uses, then you don't need to share the source code since you're not actually distributing the software. Now, for this exercise, I'm going to use this start payment request order PDF form as demonstration. And you can download the form from Silver Lake Bank. I'm not going to link the link for this page since I'm not affiliated with the company. But here you can download a variety of PDF forms for testing or experimenting. Now let's go ahead and install the package. To install PyMuPDF, we're going to type pip install PyMuPDF. And I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Then I'm going to create my script, demo.py. Now go ahead and open the file. I'm going to walk you through the entire process from how I approach trying to figure out which field to fill in, as well as also show you how to insert a signature. So here's my signature from an image file. All right, so let me close this file first. Now, before you start any data entry task using Python, you want to make sure that you make a copy of the original document. Then going back to the Python script. To automate this task, I'll be using two libraries. One is the path class, which is to construct a folder path to where my files are located. And to use PyMuPDF Python package, we'll import fields. Now, because most of the fields are almost identical, I'm going to show you how to populate the first 7 fields. So we have a text field, as well as a couple of checkboxes. And I think that will cover almost 90% of the use cases. All right, so here I'm going to insert a function to populate the data entry value. Now here, each field represents an index. So this is going to be index 0. This is going to be index 1, index 2, index 3. And the way how you can figure out the index, which I'll show you in a second. But here me define my target path, which is where my documents are sitting. Then I'm going to create 2 variables. One is going to be the source file, and we name this to source file name. And another variable will be the file path, where the field PDF is going to get saved. And here I'm going to load the values that are corresponding to each field. In this case, it's going to be based on the fields index. Now I'm going to open the source PDF file, and that's going to be the template. Now, assuming that you have 10,000 records, you need to create 10,000 PDF forms for those 10,000 records. The source file name is going to be the file that represents the template. And let me fix the file path. So first, we're going to open the document using first.open and providing the template's file path as doc. Now, for this demo, my PDF only has one page. So we can reference the first page by referencing the doc object followed by the page index. And it's going to be zero-base index. So this will represent page 1. And I'll name page 1 as target page. Now, the first step is we need to confirm that the index of each field, including the checkboxes. So here I created this procedure. So from target page, and the target page object represents the page here. And I can reference all the data entry fields by referencing the widgets method. Then I'm going to use the enumerate function to wrap the output. This will return both the element's index and the element itself. Oh, and let me forgot to show one thing. And I'll link the documentations in the description below. Now, because a PDF form can have multiple different types of widgets, and let me do a quick search. Under widget constants, these are the enumerations tied to each widget type. We have unknown, button, checkbox, combo box, list box, radio button. Signature is also a pretty important one, and text. So here I'm going to iterate each field, and they will be called widgets. So here I'm going to check if the field type is a text box. Then I'm going to insert a text label in the PDF file with the field's index number, and actually I'm going to remove field type. This is basically giving. So we can populate the value by referencing the widget. In this case, I'm going to name the widget field. Using field value, this will be the data entry value that you want to populate. Then we need to run the update method to confirm the value. Now, if the field type is a checkbox field, for the field value, we need to set that to true. Now, here notice that I'm entering the value as a string. So if we go back to the data entry data function here, for the account number field, which is going to be index 4 right here, and not that one, this one here. The account number is going to be numbers, but because it's a text field, I need to make sure that I enter the data as a text string. But for checkboxes, it's going to be true or false. And for the checkboxes fields, because they don't have a field to allow you to enter the label to display the field's index. So I'm going to insert annotation by referencing the page's object. In this case, will be target page dot insert text, and field.rest.tl is going to basically return the location of the widget. Then I'm going to insert the text that I want to display, and which is going to be this the index followed by the index number for that field. Then we can set the font size and the font scale value. Now, because I don't want to populate everything, so I'm going to stop when the iteration ends where the last entry is reached. Let me take a look. Then we're going to save the document as a new file. Now, if I go and run the script, and it took about less than a second to finish. And it's really quick, to be honest. Now, if we look at the PDF form here, so this text box is going to be index 0. And I know the annotations are going to be a little bit difficult to see, but we can see that this checkbox here is going to be index 2, index 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, once we figure out the field's index, Now we can populate the values accordingly. So I'm going to come out this code block. Since I already figured out the corresponding index numbers for each field. Now instead, I'm going to insert this code block. And basically, I'm doing a very similar task, except that I can return the corresponding value by referencing the data entry data dictionary.get, and I'll provide the index, which is going to be the key value from my data entry record. And again, make sure that you convert the value to string when the field is a text field. And for checkboxes, it's going to be true or false. Now, to insert the signature, so first you need to make sure that you have an image that has your signature in it. Then I have this code block right here. And you may need to play around with the location and the signature size. So basically, we need to define the location where the signature is going to be placed. So this tuple right here is going to be your x0 and y0 coordinate. And this will be the destination, which is going to be x1 and y1. And I have a screenshot that I took. So let's go back. All right, here. So the tuple right here represent the rectangle area that I want to insert. In this case, will be the image. Now, keep in mind that based on the coordinates that you set, you also automatically resize the image. And signature image is going to be the image file path. Then we need to open the signature file as a binary. Then from target page.insert image, we need to insert the location where the signature is going to get placed. Then we need to provide the signature's image binary to the string parameter. Then save the file. Now let me put it side by side. And since I'm overriding the existing file, so I'm going to run the script. And I can simply refresh the page. Now here we can see that based on the key value pairs, the form is now auto-populated using Python. So this is going to be everything I'm going to cover in this tutorial. And hopefully you guys find this video useful. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.